Hi all, it's Ahmed here from Recruitable University and on today's recruitment program. So we are on module number 5 on the recruitment program, and we've went through the building rapport and trust with your candidates and your clients. We went through understanding your products, understanding what your candidates and clients are looking for, understanding their pain points, perfecting your pitch, and to have the best delivery as the best delivery or best sales pitch possible. We'll now be going through negotiation techniques, certain techniques that you can use which will help your pitch and will potentially get you. Hey, Ahmed here. I hope you're finding value in this video. If you need any free advice or help with your recruitment agency, or you're thinking of starting your own agency but have some questions, feel free to join our weekly Q&A. You may have seen some clips from it on my page. I'll post a link in my Telegram community, which is completely free to join. I don't even need your email or phone number, and I'll personally be there to answer any of your questions. The link is down below for those of you who are interested. Now let's get back to the video. Better results. So first and foremost, never throw out rates. This is a rule I teach to everyone in recruitment, to my staff as well. Never throw out rates. It's very, very important that you sit back and let your candidates throw out rates, or you let your client throw out rates. What I mean by this is, let's just say you are working with a candidate and you're trying to find them a contracting position that has become available, and you're going to ask them what is the rate that you're looking for. They may say to you, what is this rate offering? Or as soon as you're on the phone to them, you say, I've got fantastic work opportunities in your area. How much is it paying? It's the bottom line for all of us. Let's face it, we are all trying to earn as much as we can. Doctors, the first thing sometimes they will say to you is, how much is it paying? A software engineer will say to you, how much is it paying? So the bottom line is the pay rate. If it's the correct rate, is it the attractive rate that they are looking for? So never throw out rates. Ask them always, what is it that you're looking for? What is a rate that you are looking for? And I will speak to my clients, I'll speak to my candidates, and I will come back to you. So ask them first, what is it that you want? If they don't give you a rate, try not to throw a rate. Just say, I'm speaking to the client and they've actually haven't mentioned specifically what the rate is. So I'm taking interest as we speak. What is it that you're looking for? Again, when it comes to your client and when it comes to what they want to offer to your candidate, don't throw a figure first. Let them throw out a rate to you, and then you can grow and you can counter that rate. Because what you don't want to do is throw a rate yourself and they're going to counter it. So give them let them put a ball in their court, let them throw a rate out to you, and then counter the rate that they have given you. Another thing, it's ABC. This is sort of basic when it comes to recruitment. ABC, always be closing. You want to make sure you're always closing a deal. You're always closing a lead. You are always closing. So you've got to have that mindset of ABC, always be closing. So even when it comes to a candidate's on the phone to you and says to you, oh, I'm not available right now. It's a very busy time. You've called me. And can we speak later on? Absolutely fine. What time later on suits you? Don't just say, yes, I'll call you later. What time later on? In the evening. Perfect. No worries. What time in the evening? At 8 o'clock. Perfect. Expect to receive a call from me at 8 p.m. today, and we can take it from there. Always be closing. Never leave a lead untied. Never leave it sort of just a potential candidate or even a client. When it comes to client, for example, if a client says to you, oh yeah, if you just call me, I'm in a meeting, Norris, I will give you a call back. When is a good time? Later on. What time? 3 p.m. Yeah, I'll give you a call at 3 o'clock. Make sure specifically that you diarize, that you put this in. We'll go through and organizing yourself very shortly, but make sure you are constantly closing any potential loose end, and you don't want to leave it untied. This is very, very important in recruitment. Is something you'll find is people will try to fob you off. They'll say to you, yeah, give me a call later on. But a competent recruiter will follow it up. A competent recruiter will know ABC. I've got to make sure I'm going to close this candidate. I'm going to close this client. I will follow up. I'll give you a call at 8 o'clock, and then we'll take it from there. Another important factor, and this is a very, very, very key. This is probably one of the most important things actually when it comes to negotiation techniques, is move the conversation away from rates, move it away from money. because the longer you stay on this topic, the more of a door and opportunity you are giving them for them to counter, for them to increase or decrease the rate. So what I like to do as a technique is, if it's via email, I will so an email generally, when they will see my the speculative CVs of candidates available in their area, a lot of clients will come back to me, say to me, "Hi Ahmed, we are interested. Can you kindly let me know how much this candidate is?" So if you are then going to email back with the rate, and initially, when it comes to the phone, I will just generally try to let them throw a rate first. But if it's via email, for example, I will just let them know, if it's a doctor and we charge, let's just say, argument's sake, we're charging £115 per hour. I will just put it in the email. Thanks for getting back to me. This doctor, the rate of this doctor is £115 per hour, and I wouldn't just leave it there. It's very important. Ask a question, ask an open question, so for the conversation to lead. So I would just say is, the candidate's rate is £115 per hour, and what dates are you looking for cover? What can you kindly let me know of the availability of the shifts? And then I've moved the conversation away from rates. Now I've given her the rate or him the rate, and now I've moved the conversation away from rates. Now we're discussing about the shift. So now we're moving even forward. We're talking about the future of the shift that I potentially want to book him into. So even if you're on the phone, for example, to a candidate or a client will say to you, "What is the rate for this candidate?" And if they don't throw a rate first, and you go back and forth and you throw your rate, you say to them, "Okay, the rate is £65 per hour for this nurse. But once I've got you on the phone, this nurse can do X, Y, and Z." So I've just mentioned the rate. I'll tell them what the rate is, but then I'm going to drag the conversation away from staying on the rate and talk about the competencies now. So I'll be like, yeah, the candidate hourly rate is £65 an hour. She can do bloods, she can do immunizations, she can do pretty much everything you are looking for. What dates are you actually looking for cover? So we move the conversation away from talking about rates, and now we're discussing the dates and the shift that they are looking for cover. So it's very important. This is going to be, you're probably going to get this on a daily basis as you're speaking to candidates, as you're speaking to clients. The first questions that we'll ask you is, how much? What is the rate? If you do mention the rate, do not dwell on it. Do not stay on it. Do not give them the window for them to say. A mistake, or what you don't want to do is saying, you're on the phone to your candidate and they say to you, "What is the rate?" "Hi, the rate is £65 per hour." How does that sound to you? You've just opened the door now for them to counter it. Even if they were happy with it, the fact that you said, "How does that sound to you?" You're giving them the opportunity for them to contest that rate. It's a bit too low. Can you not get me 70? Can you not get me 75? But what you want to do is say, "Hi, the rate is £65 per hour. It's a really, really fantastic surgery. I'm sure you'll love it. They've got all the high-tech equipment. Do you want to book a trial shift potentially for next week? See if you like it. And if you do like it, I'm sure I can get you more shifts at that place." So now I've moved away. I've mentioned the rate. I've moved and shifted the topic to the shifts and getting them through the door. So that is what you want to do. Ensure that you don't dwell on the rates for too long. Maximizing your clients and candidates is also key. When I say maximizing, so it's important to, this word maximize is so important. So you want to maximize your candidates as much as you can. You want to get the most out of your candidates. So for example, if you're speaking to your candidate and your candidate says to you, "I'm not available. I'm only available sort of 2 days a week, and I'm fairly booked up at the moment." "Okay, not to worries at all. What is it that you do?" I'll work 2 days a week." "What about the other 3 days?" Trying to get the most out of your candidate. "What about the other 3 days?" "Oh, the other 3 days I'm actually off. I don't like to work." "What if I can get you a shift just a one odd day a week?" "Okay," and then that candidate may potentially be swayed. Or if you speak to a candidate and they say to you, "I'm not available at the moment and I'm working full time." "Okay, I know you're working full time and I appreciate that. What about the odd weekends? Would you be interested in potentially working the odd Saturdays or the odd Sundays? And I can get you a slightly higher rate, and you don't have to commit to it all the time." And they may say to you, "Yeah, I wouldn't mind actually doing the odd Saturdays or the odd Sundays." If they say to you, "I'm not available for work during the weekdays," ask them, "Okay, would you potentially be interested in evening work? Try and get anything out. so you're trying to squeeze as much out of your candidates as possible. If they can do evenings, offer them. If they can do potentially a few hours in the evenings, can they do nights? Can they do weekends? And just try and get more out of your candidates and your clients. Likewise, your client say to you, I'm looking for someone every Mondays and Wednesdays. Can you find me a software developer to join our company 2 days a week? Okay, so if you find them a candidate or you find them a client, sorry, if you find them a candidate who's able to work the 2 days a week, but he can do Mondays and Thursdays, do not assume that it's a non-starter or that they only will take. Just ask them, are you able to do anything? Are you able to move things around? Try to maximize as much as you can from your client and say to, are you able to move things around? He's a fantastic candidate. I'm sure you don't want to miss out on him. I know he can't do the Wednesdays, but he can do the Thursdays instead. Do you want to give him a try? And if they say, yeah, okay, what about, and he's just become available also on the Fridays as well. And would you have happen to have any room availability at all to take him, or would you have any space or a capacity for him to work the extra Fridays? Ask that question. Don't assume just because they asked you 2 days a week that they may not want more dates. And if he's available on weekends, just let them know. Oh yeah, he's also available on every other Saturday. Would you need the extra pair of hands every other Saturday? Also, try to maximize and get the most out of your candidates as possible, and your client as well. So when it comes back, so we go back to candidates now. Then if they say to you, I'm only available 3 days a week. Ask them what is it that you do on your days off. If they haven't, let's say they don't do much on their days off, ask them, would you be interested just a couple of hours, just a couple of hours on your days off, or just a couple of hours on the weekends. So trying to get just a little bit more out of your candidates and your clients and try to maximize them as much as you can, because you never know. If you don't ask, you don't get. Ask them. Don't assume that just because they ask you for 2 days a week that they can't do an extra day. Don't assume just because they asked you for a 3 months contract that they won't be able to extend that contract. Never assume, always ask the questions, because if you don't ask, you don't get. Another negotiation technique is FOMO, fear of missing out. This really, really works with your candidates and it works with your clients. So it's very important when you are speaking to your candidates. So if I'm speaking to a candidate, I'm saying to them, I've got a work opportunity in their area. It's just become available and it's paying really good rates. A lot of the times, people will need a little bit of time to think on it, to sleep on it, to take their time. So this is your opportunity as a recruitment consultant to give them that little push that they need to get them through the door. So let them know that you've contacted them first. So what I'll say to them is, just to let you know, I've just contacted you first. This role just came in. The client, I've just got off the phone to the client, and they are looking for a candidate who literally suits you literally suit all the requirement that they have. I thought I'd pick up the phone and speak to you first before I reach out to anyone else. And this, if they say to you, I'm potentially they're and ahhing, and they're interested, but they don't want to commit. And they say to you, can I think about it? This is a common thing. Can you just email me? I'll think about it. Can you give me a couple of days? Just let them know. Yeah, absolutely, no worries. You can sleep on it. But just to let you know, I've came to you first, and I'm not sure by tomorrow when we next speak if this is still going to be available. Because I know this is going to be in high demand because it's really, really good rates. It's quite local. It's a fantastic company, and it comes with all of these perks. So I can definitely check in with you and touch base with you tomorrow, but I can't guarantee this opportunity still will be available, because I've got my colleagues at the moment as we're speaking also calling around trying to find candidates for this position. So I just thought I do want you losing out on this opportunity, and it's probably best thing just to get your foot through the door, send your CV across to them and try to arrange an interview for you. How does that sound? And then trying to give them that little push, give them that fear of missing out. And you can also apply this to your client. And how can you apply it to your client, you may ask, is by letting them know you've got them a candidate who suits exactly what they are looking for. The candidate has just become available. He just ended a long-term contract and he is free as we speak. And you send them the candidate, they will say to you, yeah, looks good. All right. We're going to discuss this internally. Can I come back to you in a few days? Let them know. Yeah, absolutely. You can get back to me tomorrow or whenever. But just to let you know, this candidate has just become available, and I know he's going to be in demand, as you know, to find a software engineer. And in these days, especially in this area, and let them know whatever area they recruit for in the London area is really rare. And this candidate, I'm sure, is going to be snapped right away. So many clients will be interested in taking him on. So yeah, you can definitely come back to me by tomorrow, but I can't guarantee you he will hold his availability and he still will be available. So probably the best thing, honestly, would be is just so you don't lose out on this candidate, is schedule an interview, see if he's the right person for you, and if he is, then you've got nothing to lose. But I wouldn't be able to guarantee you if it will still be available tomorrow. So that way, you're giving that push, you let them know, you're giving the fear of missing out that if they don't act now, that this candidate may not be available tomorrow. You know how to say today's price, not yesterday's price. So I hope you've understood this, and I will come. So I hope you benefited from this module, and I will see you on the next one.